Hey, what is up guys? This is Sahan from EnforcedFlow. In this tutorial, we are going to take a look at how to set up a smart task assignment automation using EnforcedFlow, where we assign tasks automatically among the users in ClickUp by taking their workload into consideration. Just to give you a quick demo here, I have 3 team members in my ClickUp space, Sarah, Sahan, and me, Sahan, and I have these tasks currently. So as you can see, Sarah has 3 tasks, John just have 1 task, and rest of the tasks are assigned to me. I also have a completed task. If I create a new task here, this task will now get assigned to John because he has the least amount of tasks. There you go. So let's say now all of Sarah's tasks are getting completed. Now it's mostly John and me who has in progress tasks. If I create a new task now, let's call it test task 13, this will now get assigned to Sarah because Sarah has the least or like no tasks at all. As you can see, it got assigned to Sarah. So in this tutorial, we are going to take a look at how to set up this automation. This is a combination of 2 automations in Zapier. So automation 1 is the first automation that assigns tasks to a person. Whenever a new task is created, this automation will trigger and it'll take the next available agent with the help of EnforcedFlow. And then in the automation 2, we set up these automation to track how many in progress tasks are under each different member of the staff and update or send that information to EnforcedFlow so EnforcedFlow know how to prioritize the agents. This is available as a guide in our docs portal. Just visit docs.enforcedflow.com, expand advanced round robin, head over to use case guides, and you will see ClickUp workload balancing and the steps that I go through in this video. Everything has been documented here so you can follow along with the guide or this video. We will be first setting these automations in Zapier, and then I will set them in Make as well. For Make, we will be utilizing EnforcedFlow's API, and that should give an idea on how to replicate the same automations in other systems such as NA10 or even coding a custom workflow. So before we begin, we need to create a advanced round robin group inside EnforcedFlow and set up the agents. If you don't have an account, you can always visit the website and sign up for a free account and then head over to advanced round robin, create a new group, and I'm going to name this ClickUp task assignment demo and create the group. The first thing we need to do is we need to add what we call an agent's information field. This is to hold the ClickUp user ID because we will be using this to assign tasks. So I just typed ClickUp underscore user underscore ID, add that, and it'll get added as an agent information field. Then head over to fields. This is where we set up the criteria for our new round robin group. And EnforcedFlow offer different types of field. For example, you can use multi-select to do skill-based routing. AI select is a little bit more powerful and where you can rely on AI to classify. And date and time can be used to set agents based on their day and time availability. For this, we are going to use wait, and I'm going to name this in progress tasks. So the wait field works in 2 different modes. One is prioritize and the other one is deprioritize. In prioritization mode, the higher the number we assign under wait to an agent, they will be at the top of the queue. In deprioritize mode, the higher the number they have, the lower they go in the queue. And this is exactly what we need for this use case, because the more in progress tasks they have, they should be deprioritized. So select deprioritize here and click save. And that's the only field I'm going to add for now. Of you can always layer the criteria by using additional fields. All right, next up we are going to now add the agents. So like I mentioned before, I have 3 different agents here. I'm going to add Sarah first. I need the ClickUp user ID. So from here, I click copy member ID. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add Sarah here. And the ClickUp user ID, the one I just copied. And this is where we can set the in progress tasks. For now, I'm just going to set 1. The second automation will update these behind the scene. So just set 1, click add. And now I'm going to do that for remaining 2. Right, so I've added both John and Sahan, and this is pretty much what we have to do in EnforcedFlow. So just to recap, I created a new group called ClickUp Task Assignment Demo, and then I added a agent information field to hold the ClickUp user ID. Then I added a wait field called in progress tasks, and I set its mode as deprioritize. And then I added the 3 agents. I specified the ClickUp user ID, copied from here, and I set the wait field to 1. The first automation we are going to set up is to assign new tasks among these 3 agents. So we configured an advanced round robin group inside EnforcedFlow, and we have the ClickUp space and this list ready. So what I need to do is, whenever I create a task, I want the automation to take over and assign it to someone among those 3 staff members. Okay, so I have a blank Zapier. So for the trigger, I am going to select ClickUp, and I already have my ClickUp connected with my Zapier account. For the trigger event, select new task, and essentially this will trigger the automation whenever a new task is created. So I have my account connected, click continue, and my workspace is this. And so the only field that's required here is the workspace. I can drill down into space and list, which I'm going to in this case. But if you want this to happen across your whole ClickUp workspace, you can stop at workspace level and leave the rest of the fields blank. So I'm going to select the folder I created. Test looks good. Yes, I want to include the subtasks. I'm not going to drill down all the way to the list, so I'll stop at the folder level. Again, these 2 are not required. You can always stop at workspace level. Click continue, and I'm going to test this trigger so that I have some data to work with. So it pulled task A, probably the one I just created. Okay, that looks good. Now I am going to continue with the selected. And then next step is to assign this to an agent. For that, I need to now select EnforcedFlow. Search EnforcedFlow if you don't see it in the list. And for the event, I am going to select get next agent, because we are going to get the next available agent from the round robin group that we set. Okay, click continue, and then it'll prompt you to select the group, and this is the group that we created in EnforcedFlow. Again, I have my EnforcedFlow connected here. If you are doing this for the first time, when you connect, it'll ask you to set up and provide an API key. You can come to the dashboard, create a key, give it a name, and grab that key and put it inside Zapier, and it'll connect. Okay, so I'm gonna select my group that I just created, and if I click continue, this is it's the group ID 11. Just test it because we need some data to work with, and it'll make a request to the group and get the next available agent. So it returns Sarah, and you can see it has the name, and it also returned that agent information ClickUp user ID we assigned. This is the ClickUp ID. This is exactly what I needed, and I am now gonna add another step. to assign the task to an agent or the staff member. So what I need to do is I need to do update task here. Looks good. And the workspace is the same workspace. Zapier will warn you about a potential loop. You can safely ignore this because we are not causing a loop. The trigger is new task and then we update the task. As long as it's new and update, you should be good. Make sure your trigger is not update task because then it'll just keep re-triggering by itself. Again, workspace, you can drill this down, but since we are updating the exact task, the workspace is enough because I'm gonna essentially provide the task ID. So workspace, and for the task, switch to custom, and here select the task ID from the new task trigger. So task ID looks good. Once you select the task ID, it'll give you the additional fields. Now scroll all the way down until you see add assignee and switch that to custom as well. Now for this, select the ClickUp user ID from our previous step. So this one right here. All right, perfect. That's all we have to do. And we can test this step. If I test this, this should assign that test task we created to an agent, which is Sarah. So looks good. Now this automation alone, this will make sure each time you create a task, it's getting assigned to the next available agent. And EnforcedFlow will cycle through these 3 agents. But it's not considering their in progress tasks. It's just blindly cycle through each one from 1, 2, 3 and again 1, 2, 3. So this is where the second automation is coming in. Now we are going to set up the second automation, which will behind the scene update the in progress task count here. Before we continue to set up the second automation, I am going to publish this Zap. Going back to my folder here. So I've created a folder to set up the 2 automations just for better organization. Now I'm going to create the second Zap and I'm going to name these update workloads every hour. Okay. So yeah, like I said, this automation will update the in progress task count behind the scene. So the trigger for this example, I am going to set up schedule. Now the trigger could be anything really, but I just want this to happen periodically every hour. So, and schedule by Zapier is the best trigger for this. You can even set up on each new task creation, which would be an overkill in most cases, because one is you just keep triggering the task update or the workload update every time a new task is created. If you don't create tasks quite often, I guess that's fine. But the other drawback is that it's going to consume a lot of your operations out of your Zapier account. So yeah, so test and evaluate what works best for you. But for now, I'm going to select schedule by Zapier here. All right, click continue for configure. I'm just going to leave it as it is. You can skip weekends. Looks good to me. So I'm going to test this trigger and move on. Okay, so this is going to trigger every hour. Now, when it triggers, first thing I want to do is I want to get all the agents from EnforcedFlow, meaning all the list of agents that we created right here. For that, for the action, select find agents in round robin group, click continue. Then it will prompt you to select the group, and I'm selecting the group that we created. Click continue and do a test, and it will return the 3 agents we have. Looks good. Now the next step is to go through each agent, look at how many pending tasks they have inside ClickUp, and then update their in progress tasks. For this, I need what we call a loop. So search for loop, and Zapier has a module called looping, and add that in, and for the action, select create loop from line items, and then click continue. Okay. And now we need to provide a value to loop over. For this, I am going to come up with a name assignee, and then what you have to do is give the ClickUp use ID here, and it'll essentially combine all the what from the results. It'll combine all of these IDs separated by commas to this field name called assignee, and then click continue. I'm gonna test this so that I have data to work with in the next step. Okay, it created a loop and looks good. Now the next one is to get the in progress tasks from ClickUp. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select ClickUp. The action is find list of all tasks, and continue. Workspace is my default workspace here, and so because I'm only considering that specific list, I'm gonna keep filtering this down. So the space is EnforcedFlow, folder is test, looks good. And for task status, I need all the in progress. And in my case, to do and shortlisted and in progress represent the pending task load. Maybe I should not include to do, but yeah, for the example's sake, I'm going to include all these three. All the statuses except for completed will be considered in progress. And then for assignee, switch to custom, and from the loop step, select assignee. So the loop will give us a single assignee every time. So you're selecting a single assignee, but this block will keep running 3 times for each of our agents. This looks good. I'm going to leave this blank because we are only filtering these statuses. Looks good. And the next one to do is successful if no results. So this field, set this to true. This means is that if there are no tasks found, whether you want Zapier to stop this or whether you want Zapier to keep continuing. And I want it to continue. So select that second option and click continue. And let's do a test here. And okay, so it returned that test task we created for Sarah, which looks good. Maybe when you test, you might not get any tasks, which is fine. You can still keep continuing. Again, make sure you set this option to true. All right, so that's good. Now what we need to do is ClickUp only returns a list of tasks, and we want to count because to EnforcedFlow, we need to send the count of tasks. For this, I am going to set up a code step by Zapier and utilize JavaScript to count the tasks. Okay, so now I've added a code step and I've selected the code as JavaScript. Now I need to pass the list of tasks here. So I'm going to name this field tasks. And from here, I'm going to select the task IDs. Again, in the Zapier way, what Zapier is going to do is it's going to take all the from the return task list. It takes all the task IDs, join them with a comma, and pass it as a single, what we call a string, or like a single piece of text. Now inside this function, I will share this code in the guide. I have mentioned this here in the guide. So yeah, just copy this code from the guide. So this is all we've covered so far. So yeah, just copy the code from here. The code is as follows. So paste this and then remove this part right here. So this code will take the tasks list from here, the task IDs, split it based on the comma, because they are getting combined by putting a comma in between. So we are going to break it down by commas, and then we do a bit of filtering to make sure the once it's broken down, it's not empty, some programming jargon. But essentially this code right here will convert that task list to a single number, meaning counting the task. And yeah, so just copy this code from the guide, and that looks good. Just run the code once, and in this case it should return 1. And if it didn't return any results when you test it, it'll return 0. So I got 1 here, looks good. And I am going to close this step. And finally, we just need to add an enforced flow step to update the weight field. So in this case, I just need to select add or update agent here. EnforcedFlow is the app, and the action is add or update the agent. Click continue, and for the round robin group, select the group, ClickUp task assignment demo. You have different options to isolate an agent. You can provide the agent ID, which is shown in the group when you create it in EnforcedFlow, the agent name, or in our case, the best is the ClickUp user ID. So I am going to select from the loop, the assignee, which represents the ClickUp user ID. And for in progress tasks, I'm going to click tap dash here, slash here, the count field. So when the loop runs, we first get all the agents, and then we are looping by the ClickUp user ID three times in our case, and each time this will output the ClickUp user ID. Then we go out and find the list of all the pending tasks, and then we run a JavaScript code to convert that to a count, and then finally we update the same agents in progress tasks field in EnforcedFlow. Now looks good, so I'm going to click continue. I'm going to test this. Now that we have the setup done, let's do a quick test. We have the 3 agents, and for now I have set the in progress tasks to just 1 here for all 3 agents. And in my ClickUp space, I created some temporary tasks and assigned them between me, which is Sahan, and Sarah. And I'm gonna assign this to Sarah as well. So Sarah has a bunch of tasks, and then it's me, and John doesn't have any tasks. Now I have our workload update automation here. I'm gonna run it, do a test run to update the numbers. And I expect the automation to count all the active tasks from the space and update the workloads here. Okay, let's click test run. Okay, all done. So it looped over 3 agents and updated the task count. If I reload the group and view, so Sarah has 7 tasks, and John has 0 tasks, and Sahan has 3 tasks. Looks to be correct. So now if I create a task, let's call it test task 10, and it should get assigned to John. Okay, so there you go. So let me change everything here to John, and so now Sarah has the least amount of tasks. Let me move one of my tasks to here. Let me rerun the test here. So the updated workloads, okay, let it run. Okay, done. Now if I come back and reload, I should see the new task. So Sarah has 3, John has 5 and Sahan has 2. So obviously this automation, once we switch it on, when we have this switched on, it'll run every hour, updating these workloads automatically every hour in this case. And now if I create a task, test task 11, it should get assigned to me. As you can see, it was assigned to me. So this is how it works in a nutshell. Of course, you can add more criteria here. For example, if we do day and time, I will be able to set agents different working hours, working days, etc., and that will be taken into consideration when picking the agents. I'm going to keep it simple, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, to recap, we set up 2 separate automations here, one to take code the actual task assignment, and one to update the workloads, the weight field. And refer to docs.enforcedflow.com. And as always, if you need help setting up an automation once you sign up with EnforcedFlow, just contact support, and we always help our customers to configure automations. Now let's take a look at how to set up these 2 automations inside Make. So I have created a new scenario for our first automation, which is the assignment piece. I have selected ClickUp app as the trigger. Now for watch, I'm going to select only new, and my workspace ID is the same workspace I used in Zapier. And let's select the space ID. So I don't get to pick the list or the folders, which is fine for me. And the next one is, unlike Zapier, the Makes trigger runs periodically, so every 15 minutes or so, as you can see here. So let's say it's running every 15 minutes once I switch it on, and because of this we need to make a call on how many tasks, up to how many tasks we should be looking at. For now I'm going to leave 2. So this automation, or in Make's case called a scenario, will run every 15 minutes and it will pull up to 2 tasks. Now I'm going to leave the number 2 as it is and click save. And then the next one is, we are calling EnforcedFlow. In Make, we have a module for EnforcedFlow. If you don't see it, just search for it and it should show up. And what you need to select is make an API call. Now I already have a connection set up here. And for the URL, head over to EnforcedFlow website and go to API docs, and under API docs expand advanced round robin and head over to get next available agent. Now from here, all you need is this part right here, after API /. I'm going to copy the whole URL and paste, and I am going to remove this part. Looks good. Now the next thing we need is, we need to replace the group ID with the ID from the group we created. If you log into the dashboard of EnforcedFlow, head over to advanced round robin. Under the group you will see the group's ID. Now in this case it's group ID 11. Now I am going to replace this placeholder, including the curly braces, with 11. So it should look like this, with the group number the correct group number in your case, and next agent. Okay. The method is post. So change this to post. And if I save this and run this, okay, let's save, and in output, you can see the agent, Sarah, with the metadata that we have set. In our case, we don't need to send any information to this endpoint, but in cases where you have more criteria fields under here, say for example, you add day and time, and day and time, for day and time, we don't need to send any additional information. But if you use multi-select or AI select, then that will require you to provide some information. And you can see this in API docs. For just look at request examples with, for example, multiple criteria. You can see if you say you define a field called skills, you can send these skills like this. But in our case, we only have the weight field, and for that we don't need to send anything. Okay, so click save, and I'm gonna fix this error real quick here. And if I click, okay, click save. All right. So the next step is updating the assignee in ClickUp. So ClickUp, I want to look for search update. Edit a task. All right. Same connection, and the task ID going to be the task ID from our watch step, and no parent task ID all the way to assignee. Under add, click item, add item, and for user ID, all you have to do is select the under agent meta ClickUp user ID. Okay, looks good. And that's pretty much it. Now we have our first automation. I'm going to run this once. Okay, let's select from now on. And if I run this once, okay, obviously we don't have any new tasks. So just for a test, because if I switch this on, and it'll run in another 15 minutes. So let me create a task real quick. Test task, say 14. And if I come to make and run it once, okay, that should work. And okay, so the agent that we got was, okay, still Sarah. So yeah, this was assigned to Sarah, as we can see. So it's working well. And I switched off my Zapier automation so that it's not conflicting with the Zapier automations. So first automation is done. Now I am going to set up our second automation. For our second automation, or as Make would call it, the scenario, which is to update agent workloads every hour, similar to our Zapier setup. I created a new scenario, and for the first step, I am selecting EnforcedFlow and make an API call. So unlike Zapier, we don't need dedicated steps to set up scheduling. This step, the trigger, is already set up as a scheduled scenario, and I am setting it to run every hour. So the run scenario at regular intervals, and minutes set to 60. Now, I already have a connection set up under make. Now, we are doing a API call. If you missed it, let me start over. So I selected EnforcedFlow, and if you don't see it, just search for EnforcedFlow and select make an API call and select the connection here. Now for URL, in the guide, if you scroll all the way down after the Zapier stuff, you can see a template that I have provided for the API request for both make and N8N. Now for make, just copy this part right here, and just that part without the get piece, and the method is get. You don't need to fill out anything else. Make sure the connection is set correctly, and if I run this, you can see it failed. Now I just remembered the issue because I didn't provide the group ID. Okay, so for group ID, if you go to your groups listing under EnforcedFlow dashboard, the group we created, the ID is 11 right here. So I just need to replace this group with ID 11. Okay, if I click save and run it again, it should work this time. So yeah, works. And under data, if I expand, I can see the 3 agents. Looks good. Now we need to go through, loop through those 3 agents. Now in make, there's a step called iterator, and you can edit from flow control here or even from here. Just search for flow control and under flow control, select iterator. And for the array, we just need to provide this under data, this data square brackets part right here. Okay. Now, if I just run this once, let's say run anyway, and if I click the output, you can see it got the output from the first step, and as the output, it gave 3 bundles. Bundles mean like three separate outputs in make. So this looks good. If you have bundle count similar, the count similar to the number of agents you have set up in EnforcedFlow, then you're good to go. Now for the next step after that, we need to query stuff from ClickUp. And if you don't see ClickUp, again, you can search and click ClickUp, list all tasks. And I have a connection set up already. For map or select, I am going to select select, and that will prompt me to select the workspace, the space, and a folder, and then the list. Okay, so for assignees, I am switching this to map because the assignee will come out of EnforcedFlow and after this loop. So from the second step, we just need to select under meta ClickUp user ID. Now this will run 3 times inside a loop. So this will run this step for each agent, filter task by this assignee ID, and then we can get the count. Now for task statuses, we are essentially doing everything except for complete, which is in my case represent the workload for an assignee. So I'm just gonna pick those here. Rest looks good, and just to be safe for limit, I'm gonna set 100 because I don't think any of my users in ClickUp will have 100 pending tasks. Okay, click save. Now if I'm gonna grab a ClickUp user ID from here just to run this step alone, and if I run this now, it'll say yep, so it outputted bundle 1, bundle 2, so forth. So I get the result, so it looks good. And double checking status, it's to do, and the second one, it is again to do. So yeah, looks good. Now after we get the list of tasks, we need to get the counts. For this, we need a flow control step called array aggregator. So select that. I selected flow control. There's a shortcut here usually. You can click that and select array aggregator as well. Now for the source, select ClickUp, and we will just use task ID to count the number of tasks each time. Then I'm gonna save this, and I'm gonna run this once. Click run anyway, and it'll run 3 times for our agents. Now looks good. I'm just making sure I have output bundle here. Perfect. Now, then we need to set up an EnforcedFlow make an API call step. And the URL is right here. Just copy this part without the verb put. The method's going to be put. And for the request body, come back to the docs, copy this sample, paste, and then replace the ClickUp user ID with the user ID from the iterator step. And for in progress tasks, select this double underscore output from the aggregator. Looks good. A little note about ClickUp user ID. The reason why this is called ClickUp underscore user ID is because in my group settings, if you look at ClickUp user ID, you can see the field value EnforcedFlow assigned, or like what we gave when we created the information field. So make sure it matches with the field name here, or you can always copy it and select that part without removing the double quotes and paste it. It looks it's the same. The in progress tasks, if you go to fields tab and look at the weight field we have, that name is coming from here, this grayed out little text right here. So make sure that names matches like that. Click save. Looks good. Now so Sarah currently, if I reload here, Sarah's count is number 3. I'll just set this to number 5 and update. Set to number 5 now. And in ClickUp, Sarah has in this space 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, actually she has 5 tasks. Let me double check. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Actually, yeah, she has 2. We don't need to count the completed one. Okay, if I run this now, okay, it's running. This part will run 3 times. Oh, I just realized I didn't replace the group ID. So yeah, make sure to update the group ID. Click save, run it again. Okay, now it's good this time. 1, 2, 3. Looks good. Click save. Okay, now if I come here and reload, go to agents, click edit, you can see Sarah has 2. If I remove Sarah from this task and say assign it to me, it's going to remove this count. And if I run this again, come back, check, you can see it's now updated to 1. So it's looking good. So yeah, that is the make second scenario, and similar to Zapier, we created 2 scenarios in make, which one is to assign get the next agent from EnforcedFlow and assign it to a ClickUp task when a new task is created, and second is to get the workloads and update it